This knife has a straight edge on it, so it's very easy. And maybe in our world here, there lives a happy little mountain.
Welcome to a new series called Rocket's MotoMyths. In this series, I break down several motorcycling myths and replace them with actual facts and common sense. Motorcycling has more than its fair share of myths. Riders who believe in opinion and anecdotes over facts can be found in almost every meetup. Before we get started, I wanted to touch on how opinions become fake facts. Stupidity is the most infectious disease on planet Earth. If you think you haven't been infected in any way at any point in your life, you may be a carrier right now. That's the thing about this disease. It gives you a false sense of confidence in your opinions. And I know what you're thinking, but Rocket, you're in a video right now with strong opinions. Couldn't they be wrong and you be a carrier of stupidity too? You're right, anonymous viewer. The trick is to get tested, and as often as possible. And by that I mean, if you think you're right, try to prove yourself wrong. Don't just look up facts from your regular sources either. Whenever you can, look for peer-reviewed studies or at least proper summaries on those studies. And always avoid anything that even feels anecdotal. If you're one of the countless infected, it's not too late for you. Stupidity can be cured. Treatment includes a steady diet of verified scientific sources, as well as healthy doses of common sense. Now that we've talked about how these myths get started, let's get on the bike and talk about one of the biggest myths. I can already hear the keyboards clicking away. Being that this myth is so popular, you'd think that there would be a study or two that would confirm this notion. Unfortunately, there's nothing solid I could find that confirmed this in any way. Sure, I could find tons of stories on forums of the yin-yang, but nothing where actual tests confirmed it. I'm sure by now you've been in a car before. They are built to block out road noise of all kinds by default. Add to that the numerous distractions like people talking on the phone, texting, yelling at kids in the back, and don't forget listening to music which replaces the outside noise with inside noise, as well as countless other activities that have nothing to do with moving their vehicle down the road. With all of those distractions, it's a wonder that anyone survives a road trip, ever. Your bike may seem loud to a person standing beside or behind it, but when it's on the road, it's hard to compete with the loudest thing of all, wind noise. Have you ever tried to speak to someone on the back of your bike while going highway speed? They're basically 1 inch away from your ears and you can barely make out a single word. But people expect a sound coming from the back of their bike which is pointed, mind you, in the exact opposite direction from the person who needs to hear it, as well as with a minimum of at least 30 feet to penetrate both the deafening sounds of the road as well as the mind of a distracted driver. This one is so dumb it only needs a few doses of common sense to clear up the infection. Oh, I can hear the keyboards typing again. There's always a story of someone saying they revved their bike when a guy was about to change lanes in front of them, which would have cut them off, and it was the rev that stopped them. While it is possible that it was the sound that alerted them, the question is, how do you know? Did you follow them home and ask? And if you didn't, you may be suffering from a condition known as anecdotalitis. It's far more likely he caught a glint of chrome, a headlight, or you finally came into view outside of a blind spot. Several studies have shown that visual stimuli such as brightly colored gear, bright signal lights, and other predominant visual cues make a much bigger impact in this regard than a low rumbling sound. Just ask firefighters and ambulance drivers. Their siren is often far louder than any bike and they constantly struggle to get people to hear them coming. Even when heard, it's usually hard to tell where the sound is coming from when driving. However, lights grab your attention immediately. Unlike a sound, they also tell you exactly where they are. Just think about it. How quickly do you pay attention when you see flashing lights? Now, I'm not saying to put flashing lights on your bike. What I am saying is make yourself as visible as possible. Maybe that's what they meant all along. Loud clothing saves lives. To help immunize yourself from stupid, be sure to use this simple tip. If someone tells you something, be sure to ask that person where they learned it from. If they said they heard it from a guy who knows a guy, don't share it until you can confirm it's true. And remember, feeling true and being true are very different things. This episode was brought to you by AtGat Hat, a hat that tells everyone in the know you support wearing all the gear all the time. If you haven't checked out the Duds by Rocket store on Etsy yet, there's no better time. Don't worry, I'll wait here for you while you do it. Just click the link in the description. No, not that one. The other one. The one, just expand the info there. Okay, now click it. I'll just wait here while you check out not just the AtGat hat, but everything else that's in store. In the next episode of Rocket's MotoMyths, we discuss helmets. Are they really that useful? Spoiler, yes! And in that video, I'll tell you exactly why. If you like this flick or like what I do on this channel, hit that like button, as well as smash that subscribe button around. Don't worry, it likes it rough. And don't forget to ring that bell so you can be sure to catch the next rocket flick. Until then, I'll see you out there.